Law number 13, the law of options. There's always more than one way to achieve your goal. For a very, very, very long time, Glassdoor told companies that it had a magic and proprietary formula about whether you had a great company to work for or not. It was a formula that resulted in a single number between a 0 and a 5, and we were told that was how we rated as an employer. I've been pitched a dozen different products in the last 6 or 7 years who have tried to tell me, this is how you solve your employer brand problem. Sometimes they were spamming and broadcasting tools. Sometimes they were chatbots. Sometimes they were reputation management services. Sometimes they were videos. Look at all the different skills employer branders bring to the table. Some are writers. Some are videographers. Some are narrative storytellers. Some are visual designers. Some are social media experts. Some are ad builders. Some are project managers. Some are political creatures. And some are strategists. What should this tell you? Well, that there are almost infinite paths towards making your employer brand create change. And whatever your situation, whatever your goal, there is no one way to make your brand more useful. You have lots and lots of options. Do you want to get more people to know about you? Buy some ads, tell better stories, get more of your staff to share content, write a job posting so interesting people will share it organically, build a clever video and edit it to look like a hotshot YouTube content creator made it. Better yet, make a parody of what a hotshot YouTube content creator would make and post that on YouTube, and then share it with them. Create an industry event and invite industry publications to cover it. Write an article revealing something about your industry that most people don't know and pitch it to a reporter. There's lots of options. Do you want to change the way people who know you see you? Well, find specific stories about how individuals inside the company have changed while working there, and tell those stories on social, in a video, on a blog post, and outreach. Define your mission to be less woo-woo and more actionable goal that everyone has a hand in achieving. Build a campaign to share that mission more widely. Record an impromptu camera phone video with the CEO about where the industry is headed and what makes your company suited for the future. Don't worry, you're going to have to run it all through comms and legal. Screen grab a Slack thread by leadership talking about how people should take care of themselves, and see the previous note about comms and legal. Work with fulfillment to put a note from the product lead and signed by the product team and QA and anyone who touched that product into every deliverable, thanking them for purchasing it. There are a lot of options. Do you want more people to want to work there? Run a live virtual event where your product team talks about what they're building and the technology they use to build it. Write a series of social posts and get everyone on a team to commit to sharing, commenting, and engaging with those posts to ensure that the content becomes more credible over time. Make your hiring manager a social media rock star. Spend $20 to get all the cool kid video effects and apply them like a drunken influencer. Create a video about an intern who is hired full-time that looks like a professional crew shot it. Sponsor anyone at your company who wants to run a local 5K and make sure they all have matching branded t-shirts. Go to an industry conference and live tweet or thread the entire event with a point of view. There are a lot of options. Do you want to help people self-select out? Tell a story about someone who on paper was a perfect hire and how the decision was made not to go forward with them and why. Give it a happy ending, where the rejected person landed at a company better suited for them and you landed a better fitting hire. Make the job posting shorter but more specific about what the job is intended to accomplish, rather than just a list of skills. Instead of a goofy question when someone fills out an application, ask them, if you could work at any company and we didn't exist, where would you work and why? When it comes to making your brand more effective, there are always lots of options. Why this works. An employer brand is a perception of what it's like to work at a company based on dozens, if not hundreds, if not more, interactions, touch points, and experiences. It is multi-determined, a system with so many permutations of inputs, there's no one lever that you can use to guarantee change. Some levers won't work at all. Some give you exactly what you wanted. And there are others which might have ancillary benefits. Maybe they're cheaper, easier, faster. Maybe they give you a chance to engage new audiences or a reason to talk to leadership about your work. Maybe it aligns the marketing team to everything you're doing. Whatever that is, smart employer branders see the bigger picture. They understand that success is not a straight line and that selecting the obvious solution doesn't allow them to build relationships with other people. relationships that they might need to call on down the road. Here's an example. When I was at Groupon, I was trying to encourage more staff to complete the Google form that became the employee profile that we were posting online. And I knew there was a limit on how many people would engage if I asked them to complete a profile. Nobody thinks that sort of thing is fun. Instead, I spent $100 on a limited run of stickers for people who completed the profile. As a tech company, everybody had lots of stickers on their laptops, but they were all designed by the comms team who had a very specific aesthetic. By designing something myself, I could build something obviously different, which made the sticker stand out. People who completed the profile were thrilled to add this sticker to their laptops, and when others asked them where they got it, they could direct them to the Google form. Would it have been cheaper to ask people via email or Slack? Sure, maybe. But by taking a different approach, I was offering people who were willing to play my weird little game, before anybody knew about it, a little clout they could show off. And that clout created more participants in teams that I probably never even realized existed. If you have options, you need to make your choices more strategically. Where this falls apart: human nature. We all want there to be right answers to the work we do. But there are no right answers anywhere. There are layers of complexity, ambiguity, and confusion, and no one knows the future. But people want to be seen as rational. They want there to be the right answer in recruiting and hiring and marketing, places that are so not rational, not even close. Human nature says that the size of the intervention is proportionate to the size of the effect, that we can only make smart decisions rationally, that 2 + 2 is always 4. Employer branding is deeply irrational. It plays in emotions because that's what drives behavior. That's how you get people to take action and make choices. Do this job for any length of time and it becomes clear, but you'll be surrounded by people who think rationality is the only way. You will need to show people that there are always more options. Examples. Let's say you send a box of cookies to every candidate you interview. This is a $25 charge per interview, and that's no small potatoes to a company hiring 100, 200 people a year. A few things happen when you send everyone cookies. 1, if the hiring manager knows that there are real costs to the interviewing yet another candidate, it might make them hesitate before looping in a 3rd or 4th candidate into a pile of people to talk to. Hiring managers like to pretend that wasting a candidate's time and an interview panel's time has no hard costs. But suddenly knowing there's a $25 charge with their name on it creates just enough extra consideration that they'll start to be more judicious about who they talk to, which leads to faster hiring. 2, no one will ever say, I work here because they sent me some cookies once. That's crazy talk. On an individual level, cookies should not make a difference. But if you look at your data, you'll find that cookies might result in meaningful increases in the offer acceptance rates. Cookies don't change minds, but they do validate claims the company makes about how well they take care of their people. Sure, a lower health insurance premium is great, but they aren't as tangible as delicious as cookies. Does this mean that cookie delivery should be a central pillar of your talent strategy? Of course not. I mean, it could be, but it is only one way that you can be reinforcing what makes your company the way it is, because you always have options.